Alright guys, little did you know this is the second time through this. Helps to click the right button. So I've lost it, so we're going to get it again. Instead of writing it out, I'm just going to read it to you. Hopefully take a little bit more time to go through it because we were kind of rushed there towards the end. And we'll go from there, okay? So 10-1, confidence interval for P1 minus P2. So what we're looking at is we're going to define our conditions to complete an interval. We're going to construct and interpret a confidence interval for two proportions. All right, so our conditions are pretty much the same as we've done previously. What we did in the first video, our large, how it's approximately normal, our 10%, and our standard deviation, which we'll just call standard error now. Okay. So it's going to help us to accomplish our both P1 and P2. So I already kind of went through it real quick with us. Got to state that it's random. Got to have large counts, which means that we're doing this stuff right here. We got to say that our 10% condition has been met and that the independence is still there as well. Okay, so then we're going to calculate our standard error, which is very familiar to what we just did in our previous video. Our interval is P1 minus P2 plus, or sorry, those were both P hats. I apologize. And then we have our Z critical score, and then it's the square root of P hat 1 minus, or times 1 minus P hat 1 all over N1 plus P hat 2 times 1 minus P hat 2 over N2. All right. So then our example is about presidential approval. Okay, so many news organizations conduct polls asking adults in the United States if they approve of the job the president is doing. How did President Obama's approval rating change from 2012 to 2013? According to a Gallup poll of 1,500 randomly selected U.S. adults on October 2nd through the 4th in 2012, 52% approved of Obama's job performance. Then, on October 5th through the 7th in 2013, another 1,500 randomly selected U.S. adults showed 46% approval of President Obama's job performance. So we are to calculate the standard error of the sampling distribution of the differences in the sample proportion, 2013 minus 2012, and that's important. We got to remember that's 2012 minus 2013, and we're going to interpret this value. And then B, use the results of these polls to construct and interpret a 90% confidence interval for the change in Obama's approval rating among all U.S. adults from October 2012 to 2013. Based on your interval, is there convincing evidence that Obama's job approval rating has changed? Give you a second. All right. So what we did, well, you guys weren't here, but what we already did together is we calculated our standard error. Remember, it's 2013 minus 2012. 2013 minus 2012. And we did 0.46 times 0.54 divided by 1,500 plus 0.52 times by 0.48 divided by 1,500. That gave us 0.0182. And then we're going to come through and state, well, randomly, it was stated 10% condition. Well, 15,000 adults is less than, the whole population of the U.S. adults. And what we talked about a little bit more is because we did 1,500 for both of them, that we should be okay just stating it once. If the population was different, we'd have to state it twice. Okay? All right. Then we did our large counts over here, and everything turned out that's 780, 720 for 2012, and then 690 and 810 for our 2013. Okay? All right, so then we went and did rest of B was to construct a interval, and you can tell I was running out of time because my handwriting went really to crap because I was hurrying. So what I did is, here's my standard error, here's the z, and there's my formula. So I plugged everything in, and what I talked about is because I already did all the work up here from the previous section, I just put the answer down, okay? And then so that allowed me to work through it. So then I got an interval of negative 0.089939 and negative 0.30061. Then I would come in here and say, we are 90% confident that the interval, and then I state my interval, captures the true change in the proportion of U.S. adults who approve of President Obama's job performance October 2012 to October 2013. There you go. And then question C says, is there convincing evidence? Well, because 0 is not an interval, we have convincing evidence that President Obama's approval rating has changed from 2012 to 2013. If 0 was in there, then we have convincing evidence that his approval rating has not changed. So then we can go from there. So then that's all we have to do. So then your homework is page 630, page number 6, 8, 10, and 12. And we should work on finishing up. I think I have one more video for 10.1, but not tonight because I'm tired.